The next product we're going to talk about is going to be brain vitality. And this son of a gun is meant to do things for the brain. It's based on a couple of new revolutionary discoveries in science, fortified with a number of other ingredients. Now, the most significant one, and there was just a report on it today that came out, and we're using a new form of choline makes up brain tissue, but there's lots of different types of it. And I won't go through the chemical names because it's not so important, phosphatidyl choline or serine and things like that, but those are big names. There's a new variety that has been discovered. It's called acetylcholine, and what it does is it actually goes in and it balances out the brain and helps to construct and provide specialized nutrition so that the brain can start to return to a more youthful state. And we're not talking about we're not talking about anything except that the brain ages. And the age is from about age 25. And so at age 25, your brain starts to age because the growth is done. The brain is fully developed. And then from there, your brain starts to diminish in size and in function. And you get to a point of about 50, dementia sets in for about everyone. Well, a study, 100%, almost 100% of everyone gets dementia, and about 50% gets starts to get Alzheimer's. So what happens is this product will go in and it will, in studies on the ingredient, we can't say it on our products because our product hasn't been studied, but on the ingredient, it goes in and it has totally reversed dementia so that the brain can start to return to a younger, healthier brain. It's just the most remarkable discovery. And then today it came out and a study today that just was published talked about schizophrenia and how you have a genetic problem that creates schizophrenia. But it said with this ingredient in the study today that if you take it, even if the genetic factors are there, schizophrenia will not happen because it will overcome the genetic ability to create schizophrenia. And they said particularly in young brains, it will make a much healthier, stronger brain too. And so for the types of things that happen with many people as their brain is growing and developing, it's inadequate for nutrition and a number of other things. And the acetylcholine will go in and build a healthier, stronger, younger brain. Or if you have an aged brain, the ingredient in it will reverse aging and your brain will become younger again. We found that so much so that it totally, in their studies, totally reversed dementia. It didn't do anything for Alzheimer's because Alzheimer's is a plaque. And plaque builds up and accumulates on the brain, and then it gets identified through the inflammatory system, and the immune system then attacks it and eats it out. But when it eats it out some of the good brain cells, too, to remove it. And so you have kind of pinholes all through the brain. And sometimes they call them the chicken tracks to the brain. You can see where it goes and pulls it out, and that's a lot of damage. But they found a compound that is very effective in stopping amyloidal plaque from developing in the brain, and it's called curcuminoids, a certain variety and a certain dosage, a special dosage for it. And so we've added that into it. And so we're saying, well, 50% of the people are going to get Alzheimer's, 100% are going to get dementia, but if you want to start on this at age 50, we believe the ingredient, we can't say that with our formula yet because it has not been tested, but we're using the same therapeutic dose that was in the test. In fact, it's exceeding it a little bit, that stopped Alzheimer's progression with it. And then with the power of acetylcholine in helping to restore and repair an aging brain to a younger brain and even bringing it back to its normal size. You lose, by the time you're about 75, you lost about 25% of your brain volume, and certainly you see that lack of functionality in people, so we bring that back. Now, in addition to that, there's another major discovery in the brain, and it's in magnesium. Now, magnesium is very hard to absorb, but the brain desperately needs it, and it never gets enough of it. And if you try to take too much magnesium, it just absorbs so poorly that it causes a real intestinal problem, and you've heard of milk and magnesia, because it's just that for cleaning the cystine out for constipation, and it does cause diarrhea. So they've never found an effective way to do it, but the brain especially needs it. So a new form of magnesium has been developed, and we found that and gone and had it made. It was developed in science, and so we've added this to it. And what this does is gives the brain an enormous ability with something like acetylcholine to repair and regenerate itself, to create new structures, to clean up and repair oxidation, which occurs in the brain. You don't realize it, but the brain consumes 20-25% of all the oxygen in every breath you take, and yet it only weighs just about 1.5% of your body volume. So if you can imagine 1.5% of your body weight is consuming 20-25% of your oxygen, it's because so much energy is taking place to create the processes in your brain that oxidation does occur tremendously, and it literally oxidizes, like rusts out the systems and connections in your brain. So we believe that with acetylcholine and the curcuminoids that we have in it, acetylcholine for rebuilding the brain, and curcuminoids for supporting the body in its fight against Alzheimer's, and the new form of magnesium that we have that's in it I won't pronounce the name of the magnesium because it's a big one. Plus, it is supported by a whole bunch of other ingredients to make those work better. But those are the three main ones, and there's nothing in the world that is anywhere like that. And so, as a consequence, you can take this product, whether you're young or old, and take it, and it was going to build a stronger brain for children. It's going to keep the brain from aging. This is in theory, of course. We haven't proven it. But it will take an older brain and return it to a younger brain. So if you know people that turn around and they don't even know why they turn around, here may be the answer for them, because it has so much power and ability to remodel, to reshape, to reorganize, to reconstruct, to regenerate the brain because of the potential of all these ingredients. I firmly believe that putting them all together, these 1, 2, 3 mighty ingredients that no one is using in this product, it's very expensive too, but we've got it at a very competitive price with it. But it's because we manufacture, we're debt-free, we buy direct, we get it constructed. Other companies could not afford. This would be a $150 a month product, and it's about $50. See, it's a little under that. So it is really a great buy for the aging brain. And since we all are having an aging brain, and after 50, your brain really ages fast. Dementia is going to set in for everybody at some point, and Alzheimer's 50%. Why even mess with it? Here you've now got the first viable answer, I believe, in the world, and we've got the product out right now.